Lichtenhainer. Lichtenhainer? I'm gonna go with Lichtenhainer because I think that's how you say it, but I do not know if this is carbonated. We're in it together here. Okay. I went a little more on the carbonation on this in hopes that it would be more to style. Even though I never had one before. And I dry hopped this with Galaxy, so it's not really a style anymore. And the recipe for this, I'll link it in the description below. And then I did a brew day video, which should show up right about here somewhere if you're watching this on a computer or if you're watching it on your phone from YouTube. If you found this link via a social media app, that link will not show up top. But some phones will show it and some won't also as well. And it's 59% German wheat, 29% two-row, and 6.5% acid malt, and then 1 ounce of or 4% of two-row to sour with. You can add lactobacillus. You can add probiotics. You can add yogurt. I've done all 3 of those. I've never done it with grain before, so I want to give it a go. And IBUs were 0. I did no hops on this. Original gravity was about 1034, and I think it finished around 10 or so. I'd actually take a gravity reading, to be honest. No, it's probably like 3%. That's what the program says if it finished at 10, which it probably did, which is great. You know, I don't mind having a really nice, very light, very low alcohol beer for the summer coming or the spring. So for Los Angeles, that would be like in the 80 degrees Fahrenheit range. This is a kettle sour, so what I did was I sparged it, got to collect all the wort. I then heated up for quickly to like 170 or 180 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes or so, maybe less. Cooled down to pitching temps, which is about 80. No, it's probably about 90. I think I got it to somewhere in that range. And then I pitched, just threw a handful of two-row in there and put it by the heater and kept it around 90 degrees for 4 days, and got the pH to about 3.25, which is a little lower than I'd like. I want to go to like more like 3.4, 3.3, but it's okay. It was hard. I couldn't like stop it while I was at work. So every night I would check it, and then the next day, by the time I checked it on the 4th day, it was at 3.25. I did use WLP 644 as the bread strain to ferment with, although now I think it's called a Saccharomyces bruxellensis, I believe what it's called. So it's not necessarily an actual bread strain. I've heard different things, heard go back and forth, but I think White Labs did come out and say that it wasn't bread. So, but supposedly that strain can handle low pH really well. Because I think regular yeast has a hard time with that. Like if you use USO5 or most other strains, I think they have a hard time. I think I heard somewhere that English strains can handle low pH decently. So you can almost do this where, you could just sour it and bottle it from there. But I think you'd have to have somewhere to yeast out bottling if you were going to do that, because I don't think lactobacillus alone could handle a bottle conditioning, especially when I use two-row and then I boiled afterward. But if I didn't boil afterward and I just bottled from that, I mean, I guess I could do it. But I'd rather be safe and sorry, just throw some yeast in there, even if nothing really happens, or if fermentation post souring doesn't happen, at least there's something in it. So if I bottle it, I mean, it should be okay. I did smoke a third of the grains on my grill, which you can see in that original brew day video, and I just didn't get the coals hot enough. I didn't get enough smoke out of it. So after I fermented it, I smelled it, I tasted it, and the smoke was so mild that I was like, you know what, let me just make this a regular Gosa, and I'm gonna dry hop it. So then I took 0.75 ounces of Galaxy and threw it in there for about 7 days or so. And I've heard that dry hopping a sour beer, especially the low pH, will release more aromatics. I did throw a little bit of tequila right at bottling, just a little splash. I did a couple tests with it when I did gravity readings, and it was okay doing it that way. I thought it tasted all right. I don't want to overdo it. I want to just have a splash. Kind of regret doing that in hindsight. Because I wasn't getting the smoke flavor, I was trying to kind of go for a mezcal drink, and because the smoke flavor wasn't really there, at that point it wasn't really necessary to add the tequila. But so aside from that, there's dry hops, and that's the only addition I did. And right off the bat, that Galaxy hops is just slamming. I mean, it is big and citrusy, some fruit in there. I mean, the smell is incredible. It almost smells like lemonade. Oh, it's really good. But lemonade with almost like a fruit punch added to it. And that is really good. The acidity, that 3.2 acidity I got to is really, really spot on. It has like that like really quenchable, really easy drinking. You know, you're on a hot day by a pool, this would be perfect. You're just baking in the heat, and I could put this on ice even, and with a straw, and it would be just delicious, and you're not gonna get trashed off of it. I'm not getting any of that tequila, so the tequila was soaked in oak cubes. I was originally gonna add the oak cubes and let it sit for a while, but then I just tasted the tincture of oak cube and tequila mix, and I liked the way it tasted, sort of vanilla-y, and I thought throwing a little bit of that in there would get the same results as throwing the oak cubes in there for a couple weeks. But I'm not getting any of that in there. I mean, maybe a touch in there. I mean, maybe you could say this could be barrel aged, I guess, in tequila barrels. But I'm not getting hardly any tequila, if at all, coming out of this, or oak. And it's not thin either. I mean, a decent, you know, the head retention kind of fell here, but it wasn't terrible. Considering the low pH, which can really kill head retention, it's not that bad. You know, it really isn't that bad. I think I didn't add any flaked oats or anything to this, and the wheat was, you know, regular wheat. It wasn't flaked wheat. So yeah, I think this is my favorite quick sour I've ever done, and by quick sour I mean a kettle sour. Like I said, I've used all the other methods that I can think of, and somehow using grains to sour with got me astounding clean lactic acid taste to it, and the rest of the flavors just shine. I'm getting maybe the fruit that's coming through is also from the WLP 644, which I heard kind of part some fruit. I might try this again because, you know, summer's around the corner. I might try it again with 2-row. And the weird thing about it too is the wort in the kettle sour had this weird white fluffy looking mold stuff to it. So I thought that I got contaminated, but thankfully it didn't. I don't know, whatever got in there did not affect the flavor. So, and these are going to be way easier to do when it gets hotter too in the summer months to do quick sours. I can even leave it in my garage where it can be like 95. So that's it. You know, recommend playing with kettle sours if you haven't done it before. There's great resources out there. Milk the Funk is a great resource for this. I'll link that below in my description if you haven't ran across their page yet. They have a great method for doing a quick Berliner. They also have great resources just on kettle souring, how to do it right. Mike Tonsmeyer's book, American Sours, he goes into it a little bit. I know the Sour Beer blog, Dr. Lambic, he has great resources on how to do a kettle sour as well. His is a little bit easier to navigate than I'd say Milk the Funk. They're very similar recommendations. So like one isn't necessarily drastically different than the other. But I'll link all that below in my description. And yeah, happy souring.